Hey. Hello, everybody. Let's get my bearings here. Let's see. Am I live? If I am, put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. We have a power packed, kind of like an educational type of stream that we're going over today. It's not saying that I'm live yet. Oh, I think it's just starting. Let's see. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Let's see what we got going on. Let me refresh this just to make sure. And if you're watching the playback, you could just refresh or fast forward a bit. Okay, it's saying that I'm live. Perfect. Let me cut this down. Let's see. Okay, Octavius, welcome to the chat, man. Welcome to the chat. Yemi, welcome back again. Throw a one in the chat if everybody can hear me. If you all can hear me, just getting a temperature check, seeing who all's here. We got some good thing to go over today. I'm gonna get into the backdrop in a second, but let me know if you're out there. Throw a one in the chat if you're out there. Let me know. And actually, let me just go ahead and start this thing out. Let me go ahead and start with the intro video. Let me take this down. And welcome everybody to Struggle Security Channel. But let me play that first, and then we'll get into that. Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to Struggle Security, where we are normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. And that pretty much means that on this channel, I don't like to gloss over the struggles and the difficulties it is in the field, whether it's learning, whether it's understanding a new concept, whether it's career-wise. So when I say struggle security, I'm talking about alleviating the struggles that we go through in this particular field or just in tech in general. So happy for you all to be here. Thank you all for coming through, and we're about to get into some content here. We're about to talk about cybersecurity projects, developments, and maker portfolios. This might be new to you, right? But it's not new to individuals who are in the software engineering field. So if you're a software engineer, you're probably very familiar with projects. And what are these projects? These projects show your capabilities and your skill sets through you creating some type of product, whether it's you creating an application, whether it's you creating some type of API or something, right? It's you creating something and you being able to display what you created to a potential employer, to a list of investors. This is very common within the software engineering area. Welcome, Wired Dog. Welcome again, man. Yeah, thanks for coming back again. And we are talking about cybersecurity project developments and maker portfolios. So software engineering is very common, but a lot of times in cybersecurity, we heavily lean towards certifications and credentials and degrees. And if you went to this school or that school, we lean more heavily towards certifications and credentials than that of projects. But I kind of want to change that a little bit, right? Because I think that projects are something that's really good to display what your skill sets are. And I want to kind of go over what some of these, like kind of within the context of maker portfolios. And this is something, so talked about projects, which is very common in very common in software engineering, but maker portfolios is another concept that's very common within admissions. So MIT or Massachusetts Institute of Technology, they have something where in order for you to be able to apply to the school, or one thing that can help you in your application process is that you send in a maker portfolio. And let's get down into that one. Let me pull up the link for that and we can jump right into what those are. As I'm pulling that up, let me know if you're here. Let me know if you're in the chat. Throw something in the chat. Say hello. Throw a one in the chat if you can hear me. Just let me know that you all are out there. And let me go ahead and pull this up. Welcome, Black Heights. Welcome, Black. You said Gabe, stop playing and get into tech sales. Listen, man. Hey, maybe we need to have a conversation. I might need to book an appointment, man. I might need to book an appointment for you, and really try to understand what that looks like. And that's for those who are here and listening. Black Heights Advancing Your Career. He has a YouTube channel, so go ahead over there and subscribe to him. And also, he has services that he puts out there for individuals who are in their career. You're looking to advance. You're looking to go to the heights of your career. Check his channel out and even book a consultation, because I think he's pushing me towards booking a consultation. I think he's pushing me more and more in that direction. So I might have to book a consultation service with you, Black Heights, man. So look out for that. Look out for that calendar invite, because I'm about to throw something on your calendar. Name, welcome to the chat. You're definitely welcome to the chat. He said, "Let's go." He said, "Let's go." We're looking at maker portfolios for Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And we're just going to look at, we're just kind of going to break down what those really are before we get into what that looks like for cybersecurity projects, creating a portfolio for yourself to display your own capabilities and abilities within the field. So let me go ahead and present this. Let me present this. And let me say one more thing about it too. And I think let me tell you, one of the motivations behind me covering this is because there's something that happens within the tech field and in cybersecurity where many individuals say that they're an expert. They say that they know how to do this and know how to do that, and they've been in the field for this many number of years, and they're this and they're that. I think the problem with that is that it's pretty much with math class. For those who were going in math class and learning algebra, they were learning, the order of operations and all those different types of things. One thing that the teachers always told us to do was show our work. You can have the right answer. You can say that this is the answer, that it is correct, but how did you get there? What's your work? What's your actual role? What do you do? What makes you an expert? And I think that one thing that's very important and one thing that's very interesting within the field is that you can show projects. You can show your portfolio. This is a list of things that I've done. In many cases, we try to do it in LinkedIn, but people don't even have their LinkedIn open. They have their LinkedIn on private. So there's many of us who say that we're experts. We say that we're individuals who have an expert level of knowledge and experience in the field, but we don't have anything to show for it. And I think cybersecurity projects is something that's very valuable for early career individuals, people who are transitioning into cybersecurity or tech, but also people who are seasoned. What do you do? What do you do? How do we know that you did that? And how can we trust that you're an expert in this field? So, that's also part of the motivation of me making this particular video. Okay, we got some other people, some other comments. You are making a very great video. I support you, man. Thank you. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you for coming through, and thank you for the great words of encouragement. It gives me motivation to keep going. Game over. Welcome to the chat. Game over. You said sell, and then you said salute. So you meant salute. Absolutely. Salute to you too. And we're going over what are maker portfolios. Let me zoom in on this here. So this is for MIT, or Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And it's pretty much like one of the most well-renowned engineering and STEM type of schools in the world, really. So they have, part of their admission process, one thing that you can do is that you can create what they're calling here creative portfolios. I'll zoom in just a tad bit more, and I might even remove myself. Actually, I think this is good. I think you all can pretty much see this. It says researchers, performing arts, visual arts, and makers may submit optional portfolios for review by MIT staff or faculty through SlideRoom. So they have a website or something that you can go to submit these. For more information on each type of portfolio, please review the descriptions. So we're going to scroll down, because some of these are performing arts and research. So, people are doing, if they're doing dance or if they're doing some type of other art, they might display that, but we're going to stick primarily within tech. So they have research, students have worked on a significant research project. You can submit it there. Music and theater arts, they also have that there, right? Musicians, composers, actors, but we're not focusing on that here. Let me zoom in even more for you all to see. We're not focusing on that, but we're looking at where we're talking about tech, visual art, and architecture. People can submit for that. And then here it is with makers, where it says the maker portfolio is an opportunity for students to showcase their projects that require creative insight, technical skill, and a hands-on approach to learning by doing. Members of the MIT Engineering Advisory Board review the portfolios. If you would like your technically creative work to be reviewed by academic and instructional staff, then it might be a good fit for the Maker portfolio. And then they said these are some of the criteria. And for your Maker portfolio, you may submit images, video totaling no more than 120 seconds, and up to 1 PDF of technical documentation. So this is very interesting here, right? They have part of their admission process for high school students for them to be able to submit projects, things that they've done over their very short lifespan, right? You talk about 16, 17 years or so, they can submit this as a part of their admissions process. And if you go into YouTube or just even online, they submit these publicly. They'll put it on YouTube, and YouTube has so many different MIT admissions Maker portfolios. And I want to jump through a couple of them here to kind of show how extremely cool this is, first of all, and how it displays the knowledge and capabilities, right? The motivation behind this one displays the knowledge and capabilities that these students have went through in order to show and showcase their career or showcase their capabilities. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of them. Yemi is jumping in here, says, please hit the like button. Thanks in advance. Please hit the like button as you are coming in. Where, let me just give a little bit of a background. Again, we're talking about cybersecurity projects to display and to show your skills and capabilities for people who are early in their career or people who are very seasoned. And we're starting here with Maker portfolios, where you can do this. You can show some type of portfolio of your capabilities. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. And some of these are extremely impressive. I'm telling you, some of these are extremely impressive. I have a couple of links that I'm going to be pulling up here, and we're going to take a look at these. So this one is actually from about 5 or so years ago. It's from a minute ago, right? And I think this person did get accepted, but we're going to look at what did this person do in order to submit that for MIT's? And this person did a cybersecurity project too. So we're going to take a look at this. His name is Greg Peterson. Greg Peterson. Let's zoom in here. And he's going to tell about what his Maker portfolio is, or what he actually did. Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Hi, I'm Greg. Today I just want to show you what I love to do and some of the projects I've made. For the better part of this year, I've been creating a training program for my cybersecurity team to help new members and experienced members to get better at the Linux operating system. Since there hadn't been any super comprehensive training program made for Linux in my cybersecurity team, I decided to make one myself. So
that's something that we were talking about in our last stream, is that a lot of people, one thing that's very valuable to the tech field as a whole is finding a problem and then creating a solution, something that's creative, something that is able to add value to other individuals. This isn't only valuable to him trying to get into MIT with his Maker portfolio, but this is a skill that's extremely valuable in the workforce, even entrepreneurship, right? You're looking at a problem. Hey, people don't really understand the Linux operation system, the Linux operating system, and they want to, and he wants to teach people how to use a Linux operating system as part of his solution. So boom, right? This is extremely valuable, and this is something that will be looked at as very attractive to a potential employer. B2B, welcome in before the billions. We're talking about portfolios, Maker portfolios, cybersecurity projects, and all of the above. And if you guys have any questions or concerns, please feel free to throw them right down there in the chat. If you have any questions, I'm infamous for focusing in on somebody's question, even if it's not on the subject, because this is really an opportunity for me to connect with the individuals who watch my content, and not really to just say, hey, I have this thing that I'm going to do, and that you all just here to listen. This isn't a speech. This isn't me on top of a podium, but this is me working to connect more with the people who are watching my content. So feel free to throw anything there within the chat. BY says, shout out to Struggle Security and Black Heights. Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to you, and thank you for coming through. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, even if it's not on this subject, feel free to throw it in the chat and I will address it. Maybe not immediately, but I will definitely address it over the stream if we have time. Let's get more into it, because this person is kind of going over their Maker portfolio for what they did when they saw a problem. These people were trying to learn the Linux operating system, and he created a little course to do this. Let's take a look at it more.
So I know that Linux is super hard, especially for someone new. So I decided to fill my program with fun things like anime and hints that really hadn't been implemented before, and based the entire system off of Courage the Cowardly Dog and cartoon characters. I released the program in September, and
That's pretty cool. Let's see.
here's a couple of my friends working on it.
So not only did he release or create the program, but he also used his friends in order to test it out. So he got his friends and everybody. He's able to film it and show what value he's adding there. That's pretty cool. Name said, "I need your advice, man. I want to be an ethical hacker, but I don't want to go to the university. Is university important for this? And love from Turkey. Turkey. Wow. I think that is Turkey. Yeah. So university is not necessarily 100% important for getting into ethical hacking. In many cases, a lot of these ethical hacking or cyber or offensive cybersecurity roles, they will give you a test or give you some way to prove that of your ability to hack. But I think it's also important to create these different projects, right? So creating things. I know that there is a book, there is a resource here. We'll go over to that very quickly. That I think it's a very good book. Actually, let me finish this really quickly. Let's finish this video because it's very short. It's only 1 minute and 45 seconds. And then we'll get right over into a resource that I know that is extremely useful for individuals who are trying to get into ethical hacking. But thank you for that, for sure. Let's get back into the video of this young man. He created a cybersecurity Linux training course for his folk in order for him to show, hey, what his skill and capabilities are within the field.
I released the program in September, and here's a couple of my friends working on it. So my program has 80 vulnerabilities to fix and 20 creative questions that I've made. The vulnerabilities are based on a script that I made to automate fixing vulnerabilities during competitions. An example of a creative question is users having to extract passwords from a watermelon picture. So I decided to make this program after my cyber team didn't qualify in the competition due to a miscommunication. And I've worked on this project starting around in January, I believe, and then I finished in July. And I've worked on it from start to end, and it was just me.
Extremely cool, extremely dope stuff. This individual, this high school student, went ahead and created a learning program for his peers to be able to learn Linux and cybersecurity. That was part of his portfolio, right? This is part of his maker portfolio that he submitted to get into Massachusetts Institute of Technology. I thought that was extremely, extremely cool. Extremely cool. Hey, what's up, Red? Hey, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. JM, you said you also have a question. So my current job is all about working with hardware and troubleshooting. However, what I will eventually like to go into cybersecurity. My current hardware job experience helped me in any way? I do think so. Right. So we have these devices, right? This is hardware. This is a MacBook. This is an HP machine. This is hardware. So your experience in order to troubleshoot hardware is extremely important, even in you transitioning. Oops, something fell. Even in you transitioning into cybersecurity. So I think right? Because computers are just a combination of hardware and software. So I do think that will help out in your experience there. I know that there are certain things within certain fields of cybersecurity, like incident response and digital forensics, where you literally need to physically remove a hardware from a machine in order to extract the memory from it, in order to do analysis to understand where the hack came from. If you're going into malware reverse engineering or digital forensics of devices, so your hardware experience. To answer your question, yes, that will help in cybersecurity as well, based upon what you focus in on. B2B, yeah, everybody saying hello. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Red. Absolutely, definitely appreciate it. Got to get back to work. Thank you for stopping by, even on your travels to work and back and forth as you go. But yeah, thank you for coming through. Now we get into this. So this is on Maker Portfolio, but we want to look at a resource. What was I about to look for? He says, I don't want to go to university, but it is important for this. Okay, let's see. What was that resource? It was just on the tip of my, let's see. I knew that I had it. Let's see. Okay. If you want to get into ethical hacking, right. So we are going to look at a resource, a very good book publishing company. It's called No Start. Have you heard of no starch before? Anybody heard of no starch press? No starch press? Let's see. Let's go to that website, and I'm gonna recommend a book for you. And they have so many valuable resources that are extremely good. But this is as it concerns cybersecurity projects that you can do to show some of your capabilities in ethical hacking. Let's go to the No Starch website. And this one, I like this one. This one kind of breaks down a couple of different concepts. Here, let me jump into it. Let me make it large. This is called, and I'm going to take your comment down for now so we can see the whole screen. This one is called Black Hat Python. So this one is you might have hopefully you have if you don't have a, let's see, if you have the programming language of Python under your belt, this is a very good resource in order for you to build some cybersecurity projects. So this allows you to, so this kind of takes you step by step in creating certain Python programs to be able to do things that ethical hackers do, right? And pen testers. So you might be creating a port scanner. You might be creating a brute force attack type of tool. You might write, whether it's SSH or you're brute forcing FTP or something. Let me see if we can get a small little example of what one of the chapters looks like. I think they give a preview of one of the chapters. Okay, I think this is one here. Let's see. And it also gives other resources too for things that you can get into. So here, this is from one of the pages. And it says they're kicking the tires and Windows systems configure it to be the middleman and we turn the traffic off. Let's see. So it looks like they are utilizing this this resource, OWASP, Open Web Application Security Project. They have vulnerable virtual machines and vulnerable things that you can use to attack and practice your hacking skills on. So it looks like in this one, they are working to, I think they're creating an SSH tunnel, and they're using Python to do that. So I guess I'll just say this is an example of what one of the chapters of the book looks like, and that this will be a good resource for you to create different Python programs to do things in ethical hacking. And that is called, let me see, I'm trying to get out of this. That is called Python, Black Hat Python 2nd edition. So this is the most recent one. It was released in 2021 for sure. Let's see. Wired Dog says a cyber. Yes, that's another one. I said that didn't I say that, Wired Dog? I said that we were going to do a whole stream on free resources. Let's go to the one that he was saying for the Cyber Mentor. He has a YouTube channel. And we're going to go straight to that. And he also has different courses and videos that you can utilize in order to learn some of the foundations of penetration testing. And he literally goes all into it. I'm just going to go to the most popular one, and boom, right? This is the class that you want to look at. This is the one this is the video, and this is free. This is free. Ethical, here, let me put the link here within the chat. Actually, let me go directly to the course.
Practical Ethical Hacking.
And this is a 12-hour course, right? This is let me take the time step off of it. Let me go directly to the course and learning ethical hacking. Boom, right there for you. A 12-hour class where he kind of breaks down concepts one at a time. And even if you don't want to go, even if you have some pre-knowledge on a couple of things, oops, let me go forward. Pardon.
Practical ethical.
Even if you have some previous knowledge of a couple of things, he segments each of the concepts here. So say for instance, you know a lot of networking. You can skip all the IP addressing, MAC addressing, TCP, UDP, three-way handshake stuff, and you can jump right into creating a home lab where he goes into installing and utilizing virtual machine and VirtualBox, installing Kali Linux, setting up different systems, and then really going into a lot of the specifics as it concerns cybersecurity and ethical hacking. He even does an intro to Python, where you'll get a lot of that same information there that you saw within that Black Hat Python class or that Black Hat Python book that I just recommended. So those two things, the Black Hat Python second edition, combined with that link that I just threw in the chat, I think that will give you a very well-rounded and in-depth understanding of hacking and penetration testing. Let's see, what else do we have? JM said he already has CEH and Security Plus and an active. Yeah, he has both. So yeah, those are hardware background certifications, experience within the job. Again, I think the last chat or the last live stream, I said just start applying. So you can start applying right now with that foundation. Yeah, No Starch. Yeah, No Starch is really good. No Starch also has a book called Yeah, I saw the hardware hacking one, man. Like, so the hardware hacking book is cool, but it's a little, I think you have to, here, let me go and see really quick. I think you have to buy, let me find it. Hardware. I think I even have that one. I even have it here somewhere. This one isn't as it's not as intuitive, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but I wouldn't heavily recommend this book because I think that you have to buy, like they're gonna have you buy like a breadboard, which is very common within hardware hacking, and I think they even have you buy an Arduino board, and you kind of have to have the foundation of some level of electronics and circuits in order for you to really kind of understand some of these concepts. And also, they'll make you purchase different hardware in order to use these type of techniques and tools, which is good, right? For somebody that's more advanced, but I wouldn't recommend for this somebody who's trying to get into cybersecurity or trying to get into ethical hacking. Let's see who else. He said, thanks. Absolutely happy it could be a valuable to you. Majin Eco says, why are you live streaming? It's Valentine's Day and you should be getting some in-house. Listen, sir. Yeah, we don't do that over here. Let me go ahead and show you what we do to people who say things like that. Thank you for coming, but yeah, we're not talking about that. CavTech, welcome, CavTech. You said No Starch Press is cool. I'm actually working with them, going to write app. See, that's another thing. No Starch is really dope because they give people book deals. They give people book deals who are professionals within the field, because they not only do like cybersecurity and hacking or anything, they also do like like general computing and hardware and programming. They also do system administration. So CavTech, absolutely, No Starch is a very good resource, and the fact that they gave you a book deal, it makes a lot of sense. You said salute. Yeah, welcome to the chat. Let's see, CavTech, Linux Basics for, yes, that's another good one. Linux Basics for Hackers is another good one by No Starch. JM said, I feel like I should expand my knowledge about coding first before. No. Currently, I know basic JavaScript, HTML, React, SQL, language recommended cybersecurity. I would say like Python or PowerShell for scripting and being able to automate certain tasks, but I wouldn't say that you need the prerequisite of coding before getting into cybersecurity. I would not say that. I say that you can get in there now. Get into that thing now, because it's one thing that's more important than anything else in cybersecurity. It's experience. Once you start working in the field, once you start like have a role, that experience would outweigh any of those other things. In many cases, if you are trying to learn a programming language or are trying to get more into the field, your employer will pay for you to get skilled within that. You can even make that one of your stretch goals within your organization, and you can get paid as you show progress. So that's one thing that I wouldn't say that you need programming before you jump into cybersecurity. What's up, Auntie? BY says, awesome, you write your first book. Yes, man. I'm trying to get into it too, man. What's up, Auntie? Welcome to the chat, man. Yeah, welcome through. Happy to be here, or happy for you to be here. And I am happy to be here too. Happy to be here as well. Octavius. Yeah, man, I gotta get him out of there, Octavius, man. But welcome, Octavius. Thank you for coming through. I don't know what he's talking about. We ain't talking about that. Books should be fun. Absolutely. Don't give your loved ones broken printers. They will get mad at you. Absolutely. I got a printer right here. That I service all of the time for my wife, because she's always printing out some different things. But yeah, happy V-Day to everybody. Let's see. Wired Dog, it all boils down to knowing and understanding the fundamentals. Absolutely. ChatGPT is writing books now. We're going to ask ChatGPT about this subject too, but they definitely are writing books as well. And a lot of times you can use it as a foundation for certain information, and then you tailor it to what your writing style or what your thought process is. So, I think Chat GPT for writing books is, I think, is a very good resource. Let's get back into the makers, because we were looking at some of those, what people were doing in order to show and display their skills in the form of a portfolio. And these are high school students. These are high school students. This one, I was extremely, this young man, I think he had been preparing for this thing all his life. You're gonna see. So let's go to his. This is his maker portfolio, and it is, I mean, it heavily displays what he does and what he's been studying, what he's been doing throughout his life, what his parents have encouraged him to do. But yeah, let's just take a look at it, and I think that you all will be just as impressed as I was when I was watching this. Oops. Hold on 1 second. Okay.
Hi, I'm Pranav, and welcome to my maker portfolio. During summer 2021, I embarked on the challenge of developing a Python computer vision model to track and analyze table tennis gameplay. I used a combination of frame differentiation and elliptical Hopf transform through the OpenCV computer vision library to identify and distinguish the rapidly moving balls from other objects amid the low frames per second of my camera. After detecting the position of the ball, I used the shoelace theorem and a custom finding algorithm I developed to determine whether a ball is in bounds and on the correct side of the table. I hope to expand this into a smart table tennis coach powered by machine learning. I've also developed a passion for the intersection of entrepreneurship and engineering. In July 2021, as part of the University of Pennsylvania Management Technology Summer Institute, I developed Palola, a smart personalized pill dispenser. Palola makes it easier for seniors in senior living facilities to receive their pills in a secure, error-free manner through fingerprint or keypad access. I built off my experience as the captain of my high school first robotics team to design Palola in CAD through.
Listen, hold up. I'm just going to pause here. Are you all just as impressed as I am with this young man? I mean, just looking at just finding problems, finding issues, and then being able to create a solution for it is, I mean, this young man is doing it. And he's in high school. I don't know if you saw at the beginning of the video, it showed when he was a kid, he was playing with all types of robotics tools and Lego sets and creating things. I mean, even this one using fingerprints and what was it? He was using fingerprint technology in order for it to be easier for seniors to be able to get their medication. And this, I know exactly what this program is. And he said he's using CAD. I believe this is MATLAB. This is MATLAB, or I think this is AutoCAD. This is a program that I used in my undergraduate career in electrical engineering. He's using these tools, and this is a very expensive software, so I'm sure he has some very supportive parents, And he's using either MATLAB or I think AutoCAD in order to design this and to kind of show the 3D visualization of his idea. So taking a problem, finding a solution and visualizing it and executing upon it is extremely impressive. And I think that these are the type of things that get individuals into universities like MIT. These are the type of things that get individuals into high-paying roles or high-paying roles within large, not only tech organizations, but this is the stuff that's made. This is the stuff that leaders start off with, right? This is like his genesis story. So let's get back into it because it's a short video. It's only 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Let's take a look at it.
Through Autodesk Fusion and programmed functionality using Arduino and C++, as well as the Blink Cloud platform for distributing notifications. This made it easier for my team to print and test our minimum viable product. To share my passion for computer science, in April 2020, I
just want to say goodbye to a couple of people. Yeah, goodbye, KevTech. Thanks for coming through. I don't know if you're still here, but yeah, thank you for coming through and contributing. And Name, I hear that you also have to go. See you on the next broadcast. Thank you for coming through. And I think you said from Turkey. So thank you for coming through from Turkey. And hopefully those recommendations have been valuable to you. Yeah, come back again. Let's take a look at him.
I published the Python Starter Pack, an introductory technical book covering the fundamentals of Python programming.
Wait. So he designed a system for, so he did a couple of different things, like a ping pong game, a system for detecting where the ball would land and be able to predict the movements. He also created with his team, he said during a certain summer program is extremely important, that they created a elderly pill dispensing tool that connected to an application for notifications. And now he wrote a book. Listen, this is all before 17 and 18 years old. He wrote a book. Okay, let's keep it going.
This teaches topics from loops and conditionals to objects and error handling. The positive reception for this inspired me to publish Java Decaffeinated, a Java programming book, in October 2021. Writing these books has improved
Books with an S. He wrote 2 books. Okay, listen, he's stunting on all of us now. He's just stunting on all of us right now. Okay.
my own fluency in these languages, as well as my ability to convey my passion to others. I'm also an avid iOS app developer, and I've published 5 apps to the iOS App Store so far. One of my apps, GeoScholar, is a Geography Bee preparation app. In GeoScholar, students can learn new category-specific facts through the practice section. After selecting a topic and the number of questions they want, they are entered into a quiz, where they keep answering questions until they get them all right. All of these questions are accessed from a Firebase database. Users can also test their working knowledge from all categories in the challenge section. If users would like to purchase more categories, they can do so in the shop, where I've used the Apple StoreKit framework to manage in-app purchases.
Wow.
Creating this and other apps has introduced me to important software development concepts, such as database management, in-app purchases, and efficient algorithms for processing user data.
Wow.
I'm very proud of the projects I've created, and I hope to expand upon these by pursuing computer science at Columbia. Thank you.
Yeah, he just put us all to shame. All right. He just put us all to shame. Not really. I think everybody's on their own path and they're going in their own direction. It's very obvious that he received a lot of support at a very young age for his interest and his desire within STEM. And I think that that's great for him. I think that's great for him. But I think that we have our own ideas, that we have our own projects that we can contribute to right now and today. Are you in a job role where you have some manual processes where you might be taking information from an Excel spreadsheet and loading it manually into some type of software or some type of tool? You might be able to find a way to automate that process, right? Finding a problem, finding something manual and automating it. That's something that can be your own project, right? That could be something that you're doing. Do you check certain news sites every single day to understand what's happening within the news cycle or what's getting a certain amount of hits? You might be able to develop a web scraper in order to go out and be able to understand what's being talked about, how many hits is it getting, and checking about the virality of different topics and different information. That's something that you can do for your own maker project and show your capabilities by using technology to do things, to make things easier. So yeah, I think that those are some great examples. Got a couple of more things here before we close out. There was another one for Robo. I mean, I got several of them. I might even just throw several of them in the chat. But now we're going into cybersecurity projects. What do some of those look like, right? So we saw that there were some very good examples of individuals making their own maker projects in order for college admissions. These are high school students that were getting into it. But let's take a look at cybersecurity projects that you can do, things that you can do right now in order to display your skills and to also learn. So let's take a look. This is a website here. Let me take the website too and throw it in here in the chat. Oh man, I got notices. Okay, so these are some cybersecurity projects, and I'm going to throw this link in the chat. Cybersecurity project ideas. And you can look at them as you see fit. I think that link is pretty decent. Yeah. Okay, so these are some of them. Let's zoom in on some of these. I'm going to make myself smaller and make this larger so that you all can see and read along with me. So this one, it says, working on independent cybersecurity projects is one way to have the upper hand over others, right? This is a competitive advantage in this field. Projects are like, oh my gosh, this thing has all types of advertisements on it. Projects are like testaments that validate your technical skills and that can make your profile stand out in the competition. That's exactly what I was saying. They also help in understanding and proceeding with a technology. Here are some cybersecurity projects I did that can help increase your skill set to advance in your career. So the first one it has is a web application firewall. What's a web application firewall? Like it says here, it helps to protect web applications by cleaning and examining HTTP or hypertext transfer protocol traffic between a web application and the internet. Typically a web application, a proxy, and then the internet. That's typically the way it is. But anyway, it's one of the best projects for cybersecurity as it helps you understand cybersecurity in a broader way. It safeguards web applications from attacks such as cross-site forgery, cross-site scripting, file insertion, and SQL injection, among others. A WAF, or web application firewall, is a protocol layer 7 defense and is not intended to defend against all types of attacks. This method, boom, 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 right? So this is something that you can create or something that you can configure, creating a web application firewall. That's actually how I had got my introduction into penetration testing. I was working for an organization. It was like an industrial organization called S&C Electric. We had recently got acquired. We were a smaller organization. We got acquired by them. At that time, I was doing, what was I doing? Microgrid cybersecurity for a defense contracting organization. And like I said, we had got acquired by this large organization, and they have a plethora. S&C Electric has a plethora of electrical power system type of solutions, to say the least. One thing that they had was something called a what was it called? What was that thing called? It was a smart recloser. What was it called? I forget the name of the product, but let me tell you what it did. So say, for instance, there was an electrical storm, right? Some type of thunderstorm that was happening in a local area. And as you know, that there are power lines everywhere within your neighborhoods, and that gives you power from whatever the source is, whether it's like nuclear, whether it's oil and gas, or whether it's just dam type of power. So anyway, if there's a thunderstorm and one of the line goes down, there's these things on top of the power on the power line called smart reclosers. And those smart reclosers open up and close in the event of a fault. And a fault is like an electrical surge that goes down the line. And faults are dangerous to devices, even homes, because it can cause a surge to different devices, like a printer or your laptop. And if it's too large of a surge, if it's too large of an amount of power that comes from that electrical storm, it can cause electrical devices to be damaged. So anyway, I say all that to say that smart recloser had a web application within it, right? It had a web application within it where it communicated back to the command center to tell you when there was a fault occurring within that area. And the reason for this was because in many cases, you don't know if it's a fault or if anything bad happened to a line unless your people or your customers start calling the command center. This gives you an automatic ability or automatic notice to say, hey, we see that we have a fault here, and we wouldn't have to send a truck out, but rather it just recloses by itself. It opens when there's a fault there, and it closes when the fault is no longer there, restoring power to that area. I say all that to say I was instructed to do a penetration test against this smart recloser web app or software application. So I was trying to hammer it. And it was funny because I was trying to do brute force attacks against it. I was very early in my career. I didn't really know a lot of the sophisticated things happening, but I was trying to brute force it. And one thing I noticed is that there was like a web application firewall that was built into the application, and it kept stopping me from doing certain attacks, right? I was trying to do login attacks. I was sending in all types of usernames and passwords and everything, and that wasn't working because the web application kicked in to stop everything from or the web application kicked in to stop things from damaging the different applications. So I say that to say that can be a project that you're involved in. Let's go to the next one while I'm rambling on. Let's go to the next one, a website scraper. And I kind of mentioned this a little bit. It says here, a web scraper is a program that quite accurately scrapes or gathers data from websites. Let's take an imaginary example where we might build a web scraper that will go to Twitter and gather content of tweets. And this typically happens when you're using a software program or some type of software in order to connect to what you call APIs, right? This is kind of the medium between that data and people, right? That's how you interact with the data. So you can go to Twitter, you can connect to Twitter's, you might not be able to connect directly to Twitter's API, but you can scrape Twitter on the internet for that information. So you can create something like this. You can find different vulnerabilities for systems. You can do all types of things. So that could be another cybersecurity project, a log analyzer. And I'm going to kind of leave the rest of these for you all to go through. A log analyzer, an antivirus and malware analysis sandbox. That's something that's very interesting too. Sandbox programs are all out there for if you all are interested in any of that. And you can actually evaluate malware within your sandbox. It doesn't allow the malware to escape that particular, whether it's a virtual machine or you can just have it on a computer that doesn't connect to the internet. So, you know, it's very interesting stuff. So these are some of the projects that are there, right, that you can be involved with. Now let's take a look at, I think I wanted to do one more thing with you all. And we're going to do this. Let me show you all what we're going to do here. Because I don't want to just ask myself. I don't want to just go to the internet and ask everybody. But what I want to do here is that I want to ask ChatGPT of the same thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. We're going to ask ChatGPT about cybersecurity projects. Let me zoom in here. So let's ask ChatGPT. And if you all have a better prompt, because that's one thing about ChatGPT, you get the best results out of what you're doing by putting in very valuable prompts into the tool. So here, I'm going to put a prompt of, here, let me zoom in a little bit more so you all can see. I'm going to ask ChatGPT about projects. What type of cybersecurity projects can I do to display my skills in what will be something specific, something that they asked earlier. What was his name? I think JM had asked. Oh no, I think it was someone else. Asked about penetration testing. They can ask. Let's see, skills in penetration testing. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT gives us. Minimize this a little bit. Okay, it's going. All right. It says, so I asked, what type of cybersecurity projects can I do to display my skills in penetration testing? Okay, let's zoom in here. Let's see a little bit more. Okay, so they're giving us a couple of results because, again, for those who are newer in here, we're taking a look at, and I'm just going to let it keep on firing. We're taking a look at projects, cybersecurity projects, where we'll be able to display our skills, our capabilities in cybersecurity to the point where we're not just going off hearsay. We're not just going off what we say that we know how to do, but rather we can create portfolios, we can create projects, and we can create pretty much something that shows that we know what we're doing and that we know, and something that we can speak to during interviews or even in entrepreneurial activities. Let's zoom in here. Let's go back and let's see what ChatGPT threw at us. Okay. ChatGPT says there are a variety of cybersecurity projects you can undertake to display your skills in penetration testing. Here are a few ideas. So one here is that it gives build a virtual lab environment. That's something that's very common within cybersecurity is lab environments. I think one thing that we had saw before was that malware analysis sandbox. That's something that you can do. So it says set up a virtual network using software like VirtualBox or VMware and create different virtual machines to simulate real world systems. That's really cool. That's another thing that you can do. Number 2, it says conduct a vulnerability assessment. What is that? How do you conduct, what is this? Perform a comprehensive analysis of a target system to identify potential vulnerabilities. This could include using automated tools like Nessus or OpenVAS, as well as manual testing techniques. So you can do vulnerability assessments against your own devices. So, you know, everybody at home, you all have something like a home router or something, whether it's like Comcast or Xfinity or something. You can take and look at that device, and you can get the serial number from that device. You can get the make and model of the device, and you can understand if there are any vulnerabilities associated with your home router. Now, there might be some limitations if you don't manage your own home router or manage your own home devices. So be very careful about that. But one thing that you can do is that you can do a vulnerability assessment against your own home infrastructure. Okay, it's pretty cool. Another one that they give is perform a penetration test. It says conduct a simulated attack on a target system to test its security posture. This can include exploiting vulnerabilities, conducting social engineering attacks, and attempting to bypass security controls like firewalls and intrusion detection systems. That's something that we mentioned before in one of our previous live streams, is that you can do CTFs to do penetration tests. And the CTF stands for a capture the string or capture the flag. And one that I recommended was the Pico CTF. And you can show your capabilities and your abilities to be able to penetrate different systems, whether it's laptops and different operating systems like Linux and Windows operating systems and Mac, and also phones, right? So you can do all of that. That's another way to display some of your capabilities to do certain work. Hold up, we're getting a couple of things. Wire Dog, I think I missed one of your comments here. You had said, what are your thoughts on GitHub portfolios? I've seen a lot of those, and those are very, very valuable. I think that could be a medium from where you display your projects and your ideas. So yeah, I am very big into GitHub portfolios. Actually, I have a GitHub myself. And let me actually show it. And one of the projects that I did, a couple of projects that I did. Now, it was nothing fancy, all right? This was kind of some like early stuff that I did with Python. Here, let me show you some early stuff I did with Python. And it's actually usable, right? A lot of this stuff is usable. So I have a GitHub account, and this is it here. You all can go to that, show it some love. You can follow my projects. Follow me on GitHub. I got I got 5 followers right now. That's not a lot. That's not impressive. But I did a couple of things here, right? So I have, oh man, this is a minute ago. I have a couple of contributors too, I think. I made a GitHub for cybersecurity interview questions. Man, this was 6 years. Yikes, this was 6 years ago. That's crazy. 6 years ago or so. So take a look at this. Let's see. Oh man, I was putting in work. So general cybersecurity questions is where do you get your cybersecurity news from? What operating systems and software do you run? How do you protect your home wireless access points? All that type of stuff. It kind of breaks it down also into beginner, intermediate. Like a beginner for network security would be to describe the OSI and TCP model, right? And how they work. But then if you get into something intermediate, describe the common TCP and UDP vulnerabilities. What would be some vulnerabilities there? You know, authentication, clear text, and some of the protocols that are there. Now you get into some red team and blue team stuff. Man, I was on it, man. This was from about 5 or 6 years ago. So this one for red team, what is your first step in discovering live hosts on a target network? That's something that's like almost step one. Well, actually like step 1 or step 2 when you're getting into systems and understanding. Typically, you would do some type of reconnaissance or some OSINT, some open source intelligence before you start to discover live hosts on systems. But this is right. This is here for your viewing pleasure. Here, let me throw this link up in there for you all for my GitHub account. But yeah, show your boy some love. Show some love. GitHub account. I'm gonna show you one more, and then we'll get back into some of the other projects. Death Racer, welcome. I don't know what that is. Why you got a gun? Yeah, slow down. Watch out. Slow down. Wire Dog says, I plan to add my custom scripts and tools to get, definitely. Whenever I get good at Python. Listen, you don't have to get good. I'm telling you, just throw some of those up there. Even as you're developing a particular project, put it up there. I have some projects, as you see here. I have one called ARP Scan. And I have IP Grabber. I wouldn't say these are like the best, but they work and they're functional. I need to put some descriptions in here, but I'm pretty much using Python. And again, you don't have to make it good, right? I'm using Python. I'm using the Scapy. I found this one. I don't even know what Mac vendor lookup is, but this is one that I found that would get me to my point. And then PyFiglet. This just helps in my art. This is helpful because I made like ASCII art, so that's the only reason for this. But Scapy and vendor lookup are my primary ones here, and I just imported a couple of modules from each one of those libraries. But this pretty much, let me tell you what this does, and I commented it here too. Let me see. What did I say? Okay, IP address for destination subnet. So that's what okay. This is just something if I wanted to put some. These are some additional things that are not working right now. So here for this target IP, and again, it's not that great, right? I would say just put it up there, man. I just say put it up there for whatever you're learning. So here you can put in the subnet or the IP address that you're looking for, and I put the text here. Let's see what's lurking on this network, right? So you put that in there, and then let's see. Here I'm defining a couple of variables. And this is how you do it within SCAPI. You put the Ethernet address or the MAC address over, or no, the Ethernet address over the ARP here, and then you utilize that, and you feed that into, I think SRP is from SCAPI as well. I haven't taken a look at this in a while, and then it goes through it, and it's supposed to output available network, and then it gives you the IP address, it gives you the MAC address, and it gives you the vendor of that device. The IP address, the MAC address, and the vendor, and it prints that out. So, you know, I'm saying, like, just get it, like, just make anything, man. Put a project for something that you are doing, even if you're developing it, even if it's not the most amazing thing, and go ahead and put that up on GitHub. And it can be something that you iterate over that can show that process. But I would say to be able to speak to it, and that was my problem here. I wasn't really able to speak to all the specifics of it. I would have to refresh if I'm doing some type of coding interview, but be able to speak to the things that you were doing. A couple of more comments. This is good stuff. I'm glad you were sharing this with the community, closing that cybersecurity security apps. Absolutely. Hello, team. Welcome, Maddox. Welcome to the chat. Again, that's my GitHub. Show your boy some love. I got a couple of followers here on GitHub. I got about 5 followers or so. No, I'm sorry. I got 2 followers. Make it 3. Make it 3 today. Make it 3. Wired Dog says, I will be sure to follow you on Git. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I need to start putting some more stuff up on there for the community. Hey, what's up, Keep It Techie? Welcome, man. He says I have a few projects on my GitHub. I forgot what. I think I'm following yours. Let's see. Boom, I'm following yours right here. Let's take a look at Keep It Techie's GitHub. Where you got way more followers than me on there. So he has a couple of projects up on here for his bash scripting, for some Ubuntu server configurations. Let's take a look at the bash scripts. So he has a couple of ones here. And I don't do bash scripting. It's a couple of, it's like some Echo CLS, some IP config, IP config release and flush. So I guess this is renewing or refreshing like the DNS and the configurations on different machines. IP renew, and so this automates something that he probably would do manually. So boom, right? So that can be an idea there. If it's something that you know that you do manually at work, whether you're servicing some type of database infrastructure or some devices, go ahead and create a batch script. You can create a PowerShell script. You can do something in Python that will automate that process, throw it up on GitHub, and be able to speak to it if anybody asks you about it. I think that's something that can be very, very valuable to your career. So go ahead and follow Keep It Techie's GitHub. It is, let's see. Let me find it really quickly. It's just Josh, Keep It Techie. Josh, Keep It Techie. I'll throw the link here in the chat. KIT's GitHub. Boom. Okay. Let's just take a look at a little bit more what ChatGPT was saying about cybersecurity projects, and then we'll be out of here. We'll do, please do, man. We want to see what you're doing, man. Yup. Just put it up and someone may help you. Absolutely. Let's take a look at a couple more projects that ChatGPT says, and then we'll be out of here. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so we were on the perform a penetration test, develop and test custom exploits. I think not only there for penetration tests, but even if you're doing blue teaming, kind of how you saw what was on Keep It Techies is that it looked like an automated process that he would literally be typing those commands on a command prompt. He automated that. But you can also do that for the offensive side, where you can automate exploits. So write your own exploits for known vulnerabilities and test them on target systems, right? Participate in bug bounty programs. There are bug bounty programs out there that you can participate in where companies will pay you if you're able to find bugs and write and publish security research papers, or even create YouTube videos, right? I think this actually, my YouTube video is a display of some of my own cybersecurity capabilities and knowledge base. So I think in creating content, writing articles, publishing ebooks, all of those different things can be cybersecurity projects that you can do in order to display and show your capabilities and knowledge. Hopefully this stuff has been valuable to you. Hopefully it's been valuable where we were talking about creating like maker portfolios and creating cybersecurity projects. We had a couple of ideas here, putting things up on GitHub, creating, doing capture the flags, and really showing and displaying your capabilities within the field, rather than just saying, I have 20, 30 years of experience, or I have 10 or 15 certifications. What can you do? What value can you bring to an organization from a technical perspective? This is what we're talking about from a technical perspective. And also, I think this will be very valuable to individuals who are looking to transition into cybersecurity, where you're kind of displaying and kind of getting a leg up above people who are also entry level or transitioning into the field. So I think that this will make you much more attractive in comparison to a lot of your other peers, because not a lot of people are doing it. Not a lot of people are showing and displaying what they can do, because, I mean, quiet is kept. People don't really got the skills like that. I'm telling you, people don't really got skills like that in the field. So, this isn't any diss to anybody or diss to people who don't have those technical skills, but I do think that this is something that will display your ability to be more competitive in a job field by creating cybersecurity projects. Again, like I said, hopefully this has been valuable to you. For those watching the playback, and those who are new here, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like bell, and check out my last video where I made something about ChatGPT. And it was on using ChatGPT as your personal cybersecurity tutor. A lot of people on LinkedIn and even on my Facebook account, people are going crazy. They're really enjoying that type of content. So take a look at that on your way out. And thank you all for coming by. And this has been Struggle Security, where we are normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. Hopefully this has alleviated one of your struggles. And hopefully these cybersecurity projects can make you more attractive to the work field as we're going through this tech layoff apocalypse. Thank you for coming through, and come back again for another one of these live streams. Thanks.